Hey guys, it's Evie here and welcome back to my video. Today I'm going to film something a little bit different. I was thinking yesterday when I was doing my research, I was doing some nutrition myths and fitness myths that I'm going to be debunking. So make sure you're subscribed so you can see those videos in the future. And I was just going into a deep dive, and then I came about social media, comparison culture, and how that can affect us in our everyday life. So that's something that I'm just going to go into a little bit of a tangent on, bit of a rant. If that is something you are interested in, just make sure you keep on watching, and I would love for you to subscribe if you aren't already, and let's get into the video. Okay, so it's 2023, right? And I feel like we're still in a time where social media in general, everything that we consume, there is still such a prevalence on how skinny means healthy. And it just made me think of a time in the early 2000s. I was obviously still a toddler at that point, but it's still being talked about to this day. In the early 2000s, how heroin chic was a trend that was going around. And if you aren't aware what heroin chic is, it's basically where you look like a drug addict, and that was the ideal body type. That was the trend at the time. And to think that our bodies are being looked at as a trend is absolutely insane. It's like, oh, heroin chic is now in. Oh, no, now curves are in. Now everybody wants curves. Oh, wait, no. Now we want people to have muscle. And it's like our bodies are not a trend. Okay? And it's just so sad to see people consuming this content and forcing themselves to look a certain way just so they can be the ideal body type. We cannot keep putting ourselves through extreme diets, through extreme workouts, just to be this season's version of beautiful. Because we are all different. We are all built different. We are going to grow up to be different. And that's what it should be about, being different. How boring would it be if we all looked the same? Which is not possible because we have different DNA, we have different genetics, we have different lifestyles. We are so different, and without our differences, this world would just be so boring. Speaking of being different and wanting to conform to these unrealistic trends, even if we all ate the same thing, we did the exact same workouts, we would all still look different because, like I said, we have different lifestyles. We have different jobs with different demands, different stresses. And no matter what you copy online, no matter what influencer workouts you follow, no matter what I eat in the days that you follow to hope that you will look like that person, you will not. And that's okay because, like I said, we have different needs. And you should be giving yourself what you need. You should be consuming content that is valuable to you, or consuming content just to, I don't know, if you have a spare 5 minutes and you just want to scroll, then you should be just consuming light content if that's what you are after. But don't consume content that is going to make you upset. So going into content, we are in a time where social media is so prevalent in our everyday lives. And we all have a phone. We all have access to the internet. If you're watching this video, that means you have access to the internet, which means you have access to content. And don't get me wrong, I think it's so great that we have such great accessibility. We are in a time where we can contact someone on the other side of the world. We have technologies that can help us connect with people, that can help us research, that can help us do such amazing things. I think we are in such an amazing time with technology, but there's also a bit of a downside to all of this as well. And when you are consuming content, I think it's really important to decide when enough is enough, because your mind matters. And I feel like social media can be this thing where you're just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, and then it's just making you feel guilty. And I think we just need to make sure, be like, yeah, that is enough. I need to put my phone down because this is not doing me any good. You need to make sure that you are looking after yourself, that you are looking after your mind. Because I feel like if you don't have a healthy relationship with yourself, everything else can just start to crumble. So now I just want to quickly touch on social media, basically like Instagram and TikTok especially, because that is very easy content to consume. You know, you just sit there scrolling through TikTok and Instagram, like I said, very easy content to consume. And now you're thinking, I wish I looked like that person. I wish I had their life. And now you are comparing yourself to a highlight of somebody's life. I think this is very unhealthy to somebody's mental health, especially. If somebody's content is making you feel bad about yourself, you need to unfollow them. And I think a great example that I can provide from my own experience is when I was following the Kardashians and Jenners especially. They put up these pictures and these videos that highlight the best moments that they are capturing. But they have professional photographers. They have lighting. They know how to angle themselves. They have people photoshopping their content to put up on Instagram to make sure that they are displaying the best versions of themselves. But what you are seeing with them, I feel like, is not real most of the time. And I was looking at that content thinking, why can't I have that lifestyle? Why can't I look like that? And that was just honestly making me so upset, the content that I was seeing. So I did what I thought was best. I unfollowed them all. And honestly, that was probably the first step to having better mental health and having better understanding on what content that I wanted to consume when I'm going through Instagram. And honestly, I feel so good when I'm scrolling through social media now, because I'm now consuming content that makes me feel good, that is valuable to me, and is just lighthearted and fun. And I'm seeing people, like everyday people like me, you know, reaching their goals and watching them getting stronger. And it honestly makes me happy that people are achieving these goals, because they are average people just like me. And when you are following someone, you know, like the Kardashians, who are millionaires and billionaires, who have access to so much, like their lifestyle is so unattainable to an average person. Not, you know, the everyday Joe cannot succeed to that standard. You know, we can't all be billionaires, we can't all be millionaires, and that's fine. Being average is okay. And it honestly took me a very long time to get to this place where I'm just an average person with an average income. And honestly, I am now okay with that, you know? And I just feel so much better about my life. And honestly, I'm in just such a good place where I can genuinely say that I am so happy. So the content that you consume is up to you. If you want to look at content and be happy and feel good, then you need to make sure that you are following the right people. And quickly going back to like the Kardashians and Jenners, when I was following them and, you know, how it made me feel bad about myself, that's not their fault. But I can make a choice that I can just unfollow them and feel better about the content that I am seeing. So I recently just finished reading a book called The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I am such a huge bookworm. I did set myself a goal of finishing 70 books this year, and I'm already at 53, I think. Anyways, that's not relevant. And there was this quote in this book that honestly just really bloody spoke to me. So I just want to quickly read it out. So it goes like, photographs aren't real. There's no context, just illusions that you're showing a snapshot of life. But life isn't snapshots, it's fluid. So photos are like fictions. And I just find that quote so relevant to how we live today. Because photos, posts, reels, they are just highlights. There are 24 hours in a day. There are 7 days in a week. We don't know how these people are living the rest of their time. You are just seeing a snapshot of their life. You are seeing the best versions of themselves most of the time. And to end this video, I made up a little quote, and I'm really happy with this quote, to be honest. And it goes like, you should not be comparing your life to somebody's highlight. Mic drop. I just really love that quote, to be honest, because comparing yourself can be so easy. It can be a dark hole that you just drop into so easily, and it can be really hard to build yourself back up out of that hole. but it is possible. Just make sure the content that you are consuming isn't making you go down that black hole. So just remember, you should not be comparing your life to somebody's highlight. Alright guys, so that is the end of today's video. I really hope you enjoyed this one. I really just spoke from the heart, and I really hope you get something from this video as well. If you feel like you are consuming content that isn't good for you, just make sure that you are unfollowing those people if you would like to. I really feel like it can make a really big difference to your mental health. And yeah, that is all from me today. I hope you guys are having an amazing day wherever you are, and just remember that one bad day isn't a setback and tomorrow can always be better. Bye guys.